everybody. We're returning with the top 40 countdown. Today's first entry to talk about is number 37, Duke. Returning starters 15, 7 offensive, 8 defensive. Last year's record 7-6. Projected finish 7-5. Duke makes my top 40, but they could easily be ranked higher if not for a tough 2018 schedule. Head coach David Cutcliffe has a young group of players to work with this year, including 15 returning starters. Quarterback Daniel Jones returns this year and has a lot of targets to work with. Moreover, the backfield is bolstered by the return of running back Britton Brown. The big issue here will be the offensive line that is in rebuilding mode this year. Again, the biggest issue is a tough ACC schedule. That makes their projection very difficult task with what I see as a half dozen toss-ups on their schedule. This team still can build on their big win over Northern Illinois in the Quick Lane Bowl. Lots of positives around this team, but they traverse their tough AC schedule. Number 36, Florida Atlantic. Returning starters 15. Only 5 on offense, 10 on defense. Last year's record 11-3. Projected finish 8-4. At the FAU football program finished atop the Conference USA standing last year with their 8-0 conference record and 11-3 overall mark under first-year coach Lane Kiffin. Kiffin so impressed the school that they signed him to a 10-year deal. The offense returns, like I said, just 5. But one of those is running back Devin Singletary, who set the school record for rushing, 1,920 yards, 32 TDs. The schedule has tough road games at Oklahoma and UCF. They also have tough games at Air Force, against Air Force at home. However, the conference schedule looks like another undefeated season for FAU, and while they will struggle early, they should finish at least 8-4 on the season. Number 35 on the list is Iowa. Returning starters 13. 7 on offense, 6 on defense. Last year's record's 8-5. Projected finish this year 7-5. Head coach Kirk Ferentz begins his 21st season as head coach at Iowa. Iowa finished 2017 with an 8-5 winning record, but could manage only 4-5 in the Big Ten. This team is usually good for at least 7 wins and a bowl game. They returned 7 on offense, including quarterback Nate Stanley and 2 of his top 3 receivers, and all his tight ends and both tackles. This group ranked 23rd in passing and should be just as good again this year. The defense returns 10, but lost their stud cornerback Josh Jackson to the NFL Green Bay Packers. The running game will not be any better than the 105th it was last year. This year, they will once again have to rely on Stanley and the receivers. All in all, this team looks about as good as last year, give or take a game. They should finish anywhere between what I project 7-5, but it's possible they could climb to 9-3. Coming in at number 34 is Northwestern. Returning starters 14, 7 on offense, 7 on defense. Last year's record 10-3. I project this year 8-4. Gone from last year's team is all-time leading rusher Justin Jackson. The big question is whether quarterback Clay Thorson can return from his torn ACL, which he suffered in December's Music City Bowl. Head coach Pat Fitzgerald won 10 games for the second time in his tenure at Northwestern and back-to-back bowl wins. They have their sights set on their first Big Ten title since 2000. Probably not in the question, but it's nice to dream. The schedule is tough, though, with Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame, and Wisconsin, to name a few. This team really needs a healthy Thorson back at the helm, and if he does return in time for the start of the season, 8-4 is not out of the question. However, if he's not healthy, a 6-6 campaign is very possible. With 3 overtime wins last year, that 10-3 record could have been a little worse. I look for a good team if Thorson is healthy. At number 33 is Kansas State. Returning starters 13, 8 on offense, 5 on defense. Last year's record 8-5, projected again at 8-5. Head coach Bill Snyder looks like he will face a tough season with 4 top 25 teams. But so did the Wildcats last year, and look how they finished. Kansas State won 5 of their last 6 games in 2017, including an impressive blowout win over UCLA in the Cactus Bowl, 35-17. Snyder has been around 27 seasons, and this year he welcomes 2 new coordinators and must deal with a question at quarterback. Quarterbacks Alex Delton and Skylar Thompson could platoon at that position in 2018. At least they have a good returning cast on offense, including 3 leading running backs and a pair of top receivers. In addition, all the starting linemen from last year returned too. It's a tough schedule, but Snyder finds ways to get it done, and he will do so again this year.